There'll be no government shutdown in the U.S. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. The threat of a federal government shutdown was suddenly lifted late on Saturday as President Joe Biden signed a temporary funding bill to keep agencies open with hours to spare after Congress rushed to approve the bipartisan deal. However, the package drops aid to Ukraine, which is a White House priority, but opposed by a growing number of GOP lawmakers. But they voted to increase federal disaster assistance by $16 billion, meeting President Biden's full requests. The bill funds government until November 17. And after chaotic days of turmoil in the House, Speaker Kevin McCarthy abruptly abandoned demands for steep spending cuts from his right flank and instead relied on Democrats to pass the bill at risk to his own job. And some of the idiotic MAGA people said they're going to vote him out. Meanwhile, over in Jamaica, Dr. Sophia Longmore, a government senator, has asked for the death sentence to impose on anyone guilty of murdering children. She was speaking during a discussion on changes to the Child Care and Protection Act that aim to remove Section 24 of the Act. Violence against children, according to Dr. Longmore, is becoming all too prevalent. She encouraged lawmakers to allow Article 6 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, which seeks to ensure that a child is entitled to full and adequate development as best as that system allows. She stated that anyone who deprives a child of such right by taking their life should face the full force of the law and be put to death. 16 pellets containing cocaine was found inside a section of a female restroom inside the Sangsters International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James on Thursday. Reports are that about 3 p.m., detectives assigned to the Area 1 Narcotics Division were carrying out an operation inside the facility when the contraband weighing 0.8 kilogram was found. That means that this woman who was smuggling this cocaine apparently got afraid and decided that the jail sentence in Jamaica wasn't worth it, so she dumped the cocaine. Police are now probing the shooting death of a man in Burnt Ground, St. Elizabeth yesterday. The shooting is said to be linked to a love triangle. Police named the deceased as Orlando Blake, 35 years old, otherwise called Lance, a linesman and resident of Holt District near Santa Cruz. A police report said about 2:15 in the morning, Blake visited an address at Fagan Town in Burnt Ground. While there, he was shot multiple times and taken to hospital. Reports suggest that Blake went to visit his girl's house at Fagan Town when he was shot, alleged by a licensed firearm holder. And reports suggest that the licensed firearm holder is a businessman and father of the woman's child. And he's said to be the husband of a former police sergeant. So this firearm holder is the baby father of this woman, and this young man was going to that house, so both men buck up in one another. One end up dead. A woman was shot in the head in Grand Spen in St. Andrew on Friday night. The incident reportedly happened in the Seaview area. The woman was taken to hospital where she is said to be in a serious condition. Reports suggest that the woman was abducted prior to being shot. However, that has not been confirmed by the police. The Grand Spen area has been plagued by violence in recent weeks. 2 men were killed in a drive-by shooting in the area last Monday, and the incident followed the shooting death of David Clarke, who is said to be the brother of dancehall entertainer Malika Clarke, popularly known as Jashi. Clarke was shot and killed by a gunman in Grand Spen last Saturday. Another man was shot and injured in that incident as well. A 7th grader of B.B. Coke High School is in hospital, and his schoolmate, an older student, is in police custody after the younger boy was beaten for accidentally stepping on his clocks. The incident occurred on the school compound in Junction in St. Elizabeth after classes were dismissed for the day on Thursday. And it is said that the students were at the security post collecting their cellular phones when the younger student accidentally stepped on the other boy's shoes. And this led to the student receiving several punches to the face and kicks to the body, which resulted in him receiving several injuries. He was taken to the Mandeville Hospital for treatment, and since then he has been transferred to the University Hospital of the West Indies after it was discovered that his injuries were life-threatening. So he got beaten up for stepping on the shoes, actually the clocks of a bigger student. Kiss me neck. Anyway, Sports St. Andrew Technical High School STETHS winning streak moved to 5 games after a 4-1 win over Excelsior in their top-of-the-table Group D clash in Manning Cup at the Anchovies Spalding Sports Complex on Saturday. Leon Brown scored twice for STETHS, with Kalanji, Watson, and Andre Salmon contributing with a goal each. Javan Salmon scored the consolation goal for Excelsior, but the coach for Excelsior said that the referee handled the game poorly, resulting in his team losing. STETHS now lead the group with 15 points, while Excelsior sits second on 12. And in the other opening game of the doubleheader, St. Catherine High dubbed Holy Trinity 6-0. Meanwhile, Tivoli was ruthless in Group A with a 7-1 drubbing of Cumberland, while Eltham was a 4-1 winner over Denham Town. Wolmer's also beat Donald Quarry 4-1, while Jonathan Grant edged Dunoon 2-1. Ascot, meanwhile, and Vauxhall played out to a 1-all draw. And in the Costa Cup matches on Saturday, former champion St. Elizabeth Technical High School went on a scoring spree when they drubbed Roger Clarke High 20-0 in their Costa Cup Zone E game played in Santa Cruz. DeAndre Barnett scored 6 times in the first half in what was the largest margin of victory in any schoolboy football game so far this season, which saw Justin McPherson getting a hat-trick and DeAndre Hibbert scored in his 6th consecutive game as the winners moved to 16 points. And this should not be allowed. They need to come up with a cap that no team should win with more than 10 goals. BB Coke High, meanwhile, moving to second place on 13 points after handing Monroe College their first loss of the season, winning 2-1. While there was also wins for Lacovia High, who beat Sydney Pagan 5-1, and Magadi High beat Newell 3-1. 12-time champions Cornwall College won their 4th straight game, edging Malden 1-0 in their Zone A return round game to stay in the lead as Irwin High edged Spot Valley High 1-0 thanks to a Leo Campbell goal to stay in second place. Belleair High had a 12-0 win over Crosskeys High in their scheduled Zone F game, with Daniel Brown scoring 4 games, while Rami Summit, O'Dane Windet, and Fanta Johnson all scored 2 goals each, with Javan Darling and Christian Henry getting 1 each. Also in Zone F, Raheem Russell scored 4 goals for the Carteret College, who beat Mount St. Joseph Catholic 6-0. Cedric Titus High 5-game winning streak in Zone C came to an end as they had to come from 2 goals down to earn a 2-all draw against York Castle in St. Anne. While William D. Memorial beat Abotnat Gallimore 5-0 with 2 goals each from Tion J. Bennett and Coran Hendricks, as Brownstone High also had a 12-1 win over Discovery Bay High. Taki High just managed to stay on top in Zone I despite being held 2-2 by St. Mary High. Horace Clarke High moved up to second place after beating Anota Bay High 2-0, and we'll give you the leaders from each group. In Group A, Cornwall College leads Group A. In Group B, Russell's High leads. Group C, Cedric Titus. Group D is Manning's High School. Group E, that's STETHS. Group F, Manchester High. Group G, Mile Gully. Group H, Clarendon College. Group I, Taki High. Group J, Dintil Tech. Group K, Morant Bay High. Group L, Glenmuir. Group M, Garvey Maceo. And Group N, Happy Grove High. And we'll give you the leaders for the Manning Cup tomorrow. And don't forget that the best Manning Cup and the Costa Cup reports take place on this radio station. And if you've ever missed the news on this radio station, go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.